Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Paranormal Ripples. I am Ray, and I'm joined once again by my friend Scott.
Hello, all.
And this is Abandoned Legacies, episode 9. And yes, we've got a bit of a dark topic tonight, but I feel it's kind of appropriate with the way some of the world is going at the minute. Nuclear war and all. What with the success of the Fallout series, and that.
I still gotta watch that TV series.
Yeah, you've got to. It's brilliant. I would say though, the person who played her dad, I know he can be a comedian, but in that he's brilliant. Yeah, but nuclear bunkers. We know every country near enough has them, and sadly, so some of them have long gone, haven't they? So, if you're looking for a nuclear fallout shelter, you're going to either have to build it yourself, or you're going to have to try and get in with the blooming government.
And just think, folks and fans, a lot of these old nuclear sites are actually being converted to. Some are being converted to actual homes. So
Yes, or some of them have been built on home sites.
yes.
In case over here, there's a few on council estates, and that. So I'm going to be talking about some in the UK and, of course, some in the US, which are known. And I'm also talking about some in Europe, which you might not know about. So if you're caught over there when the Europeans and that, then you might have to try and get in there. So, obviously, nuclear war. It seems grim at the minute, yeah, to talk about, but with the way some parts of the countries are going, and there's some countries that don't get on in a minute, it's kind of, yeah, something that you should know. So, here's an example of a nuclear bunker that a town that kept secret for 3 decades. White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia. They helped keep the Greenbrier Resorts bunker, designed to hold the entirety of Congress, hidden from 1958 to 1992.
Yep.
So, yeah. That's what Greenbrier looked like in the 19th century. So, yeah. There we go. There's a bunker getting constructed, everyone. And as we were talking off air, me and Scott were saying, some of these places have ancient technology by our standards.
They have the technology, very much the technology that's in there when they were installed is pretty much the technology they have today. They may have updated it to like the 70s if and all that, but that's pretty much, so all that technology that you're seeing, it pretty much dates back to when they were installed. So
yeah, so you won't be able to go in there and do a Zoom call. I'm afraid it's going to be the old. I'm afraid you're going to be having to wait for the.
Yeah, see that there's a touch tone phone right there. So
yeah, you're not going to have any Wi-Fi down in these places, but look, that tells you how it can hold Congress. You wouldn't even think of that looking at the place unless you really knew what you were looking for. That there'd be something under there, or you were part of the bunker. Look, the installation of a bunker blast door. Little YouTube video on it. There you go. Early 1992, a Washington Post reporter named Ted Gupp stopped by the Greenbrier, and he received an anonymous tip about the bunker and went looking for answers. So I'm guessing he was the one who broke it. The Washington Times scooped the Post, publishing a story about the bunker, and Gupp's expose appeared 2 days later. Look at the bunk beds.
Well, it's in a bunker, so why not bunk beds? Oh, sorry. Sorry, I had to go there. There.
Well, if it's Congress and they're married to one another, I presume they wouldn't want bunk beds, would they? There again. There you go. Most had believed it was for the president, JFK at the time.
Yeah.
Here you go. They were surprised to discover that it was intended for Congress. Most had believed it was for the president. For his part, had 2 bunkers, one on the island of Nantucket in Massachusetts, near his compound, and the other was on Peanut Island, close to his vacation home in Florida. So, wherever he was vacationing, folks, he could just basically get put in one.
Yep. They always make certain when they vacation, they're near a bunker.
I was reading one, don't know if you guys heard it as well, but I'm sure Scott probably had, the one in Denver, which could hold the president if he was over there any time. Because there's one in Denver, Colorado that can hold the president if they need to.
I forget which head it is. I know it's either Lincoln's or the one. It's either Lincoln's or the center head. I forget which one, but there's supposed to be a base of operations in one of the Mount Rushmore heads.
Yeah, I've heard of Mount Rushmore as something with it.
Like I said, I forget if it's Lincoln or 1 to 2 heads over.
This article is on 2018 in The Guardian. Look. Boom. Cannonball in Pennsylvania. The remains of a nuclear hardened microwave tower, known by the code name Cannonball. It was deactivated in 1977. So, yeah. That's what we're saying. Some of these places are deactivated because they didn't believe in it. And yeah, if it happened today, something got an attack, the things that were going to help rescue people are going to be out of operation. They go former munitions bunkers is repurposing into a doomsday community for civilians. Estimates that its 575 bunkers can hold 5,000 people in South Dakota. There's Mount Weather in Virginia. Bloody hell. No journalists have visited the site. They became aware of its existence in 1974 when a TWA airliner crashed into the mountain, killing all 92 on board. White Sulphur Springs that we were I just showed you about, the Congress one. No more. The press briefing room.
Yeah. Look how old those chairs are.
I don't know whether they'd be like that now or whether they've been replacing them every year.
Yeah.
The Pennsylvania Raven Rock Mountain Complex. I'm not even looking at that. You wouldn't even know there was something there. You know there's something there, but you wouldn't. You just think, is that a tunnel or something? Because you wouldn't just. Entry is through 1 of 4 portals there, guys. Look. Each protected by a 34-ton blast door. Constructed during the Cold War, this facility was conceived as a backup for the Pentagon and built to house the military leaders as well as the president. Atlas site in Wyoming. Some of these also have missiles, I believe, housed in them in a couple of sites, I've heard. Freedman's Bank in the nation's capital. That's crazy.
It looks like an actual, but that's just it. They've got it set up toward. If you look at it, you just think it's part of the bank itself instead of.
Yeah.
They always say if you want to hide something, do it in plain sight.
Well, yeah. The bank connects to the White House via 2 tunnels as well. So that's one way to do it. I think even some of these tunnels would be used, even if, say, there was an attack on the White House from like terrorist organizations trying to get the president, they'd have to try and get him out quickly. And I think one of these tunnels would be. Trouble is, now they've put them nationwide on papers. People are going to be looking at them and thinking, "There's Cheyenne,
Yep.
Wyoming. See the technology here, guys."
Teletype right there in the center.
Yeah. Trouble is, some of these people, I don't think nowadays people wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't be trained up on this.
Wouldn't.
They wouldn't be trained up on these kind of things. Look at that. Culpeper, Virginia, Mount Pony, where the Federal Reserve secretly stockpiled billions of dollars in cash, which they plan to
I'll
use.
accept cash. Hey, if you still got some cash there, I'll accept it.
Yeah, I'll take the bribe.
I'll take some of that cash there. You want people to not know about.
Currency, yeah, they put it here to replenish currency supplies after Armageddon. In 2007, the facility was converted to the Library of Congress's Packard campus for audio-visual conservation. It now provides underground storage for the library's vast collections of films and audio recordings.
I wonder if that's the one that's pretty much it's a salt mine, because they found it can easily it can be kept at a certain temperature to it won't degrade.
Makes you wonder that Maryland in Corkscrew was one of a network of towers secretly built during the Cold War. It has since been deactivated, and the site is now used by the Federal Aviation Administration. Cheyenne Mountain Air Force Station.
Yeah, like I was telling him, in like Stargate and a lot of these sci-fi movies where they want to give this impression of a strong outer door, that's what they use, is the exterior and maybe some of the interior of Cheyenne.
It's crazy though. Look, the secret government complex is built 2,000 feet beneath the summit of the mountain, in a bunker that can withstand a 30 megaton nuclear bomb, an electromagnetic pulse, and chemical, biological, and radiological attacks.
Because they're so far below the surface, the EMP won't be able to. It would basically be stopped by the bedrock and all the other stuff that's within.
Yeah, and that's basically all of them showing. I think there's more, but I don't think people have found them yet, or they're not allowed to talk about them. Are there any bomb shelters in the USA for possible, for a possible nuclear war? If not, why? And we used to have them all over the place. Yeah. Plus the threat of nuclear war lessened. Kind of like hide under your desk in case of nuclear attack.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is, during the Cold War, a lot of times people, you always see these black and white training, these little videos that they put out, and you're supposed to drop to your knees and cover your head, and it's like, come on, people.
That bit makes me laugh. And it's no question, though. Does the US have civilian bunkers or shelters in case of a nuclear attack? No, the government has bunkers for itself, and when the time comes, they will close the blast door in your face and tell you you're on your own. Now that doesn't surprise me, to be honest, on some things. You pay all this money for the government and that for your taxes and that, and then you get told, "Oh no, actually no, we like to take your money, but we won't help you out in case of an emergency."
That's why you always see these big old bills going through, is because half the stuff is going for stuff like this, or I'll scratch your back, you scratch my type of setup.
And before I look over on the UK, you look at so see these celebrities the last few months and that have been building nuclear bunkers underneath some of their homes. So
one of those. Yeah. I hate when they say shut off your.
There you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. Mark Zuckerberg is constructing a 5,000 square foot bunker
What is
under
he
his
going to
ranch.
protect? His porno and kitties porny stuff. Oh, but of course I'm just joking here. Did I say that aloud? My bad.
So why are these celebrities all of a sudden building bunkers? Are they preparing for something that we don't know about?
They're so this dumb broad.
Yeah.
They just want to be so they got the money, so why not just waste it on something?
Yeah. Here you go. Doomsday bunkers are all the rage among the rich and famous. Mark Zuckerberg is building that, what I said, with complete with a living space, a mechanical room, and an escape hatch. Kim Kardashian, Shaq, and Tom Cruise are said to have built bunkers or safe rooms, and Bill Gates apparently has bunkers under his homes. Pollock as well. Oh, who's that? Christopher Pollock. The duplex apartment in Central Park. He's turned 2 closets and a master bathroom into a 300 square foot haven. Gwyneth Paltrow, I believe, has also done it. Look. They must be preparing for something, or they've heard something's coming, or they've got too much money and they don't know what to do with it.
It's that. It's just they want the. It's one of those. It's the fad of the moment. So let's just build a bunker for the fad of the moment, and then.
Around 29% of adult Americans spent $11 billion on doomsday preparations in a 12-month period, according to a Finder survey. And Dr. Robin Gershon, a professor at New York University School of Global Public Health, and said, "It's amazing to me because these apartments aren't big enough to hold anything. People who are trying to control the fear by doing something, it makes you feel like you have control over it."
It's called the placebo effect.
It's crazy. But you think that's crazy, everyone? That's the US for you. But over here in the UK, look how many bunkers we have about. Some of these are open, as you can see, but some of them have got X's next to them. So I doubt these are open anymore. But the furthest one you'll see is the people of the Shetland Isles, right up here. The only one on this island. They've got to go all the way up here to Saxonwold. $950 the highest point on the island. It's crazy. There was that film that was out years ago, and it's called Threads, and it was about a nuclear war in the 80s, and it was about what happened if a nuclear bomb went off in Sheffield, which is just up the road from me. And that's probably the darkest movie ever, from a British standpoint. Look, Scotland. There's Scotland. Edinburgh. Look how many's around Edinburgh for their capital.
Damn.
This is what we're saying. This is what I'm going to say here, guys. That's Edinburgh, Scotland's capital. Look at London compared. That's London for you. That's the English capital compared to the Scottish capital. Hell, even Belfast has 3. Regional war rooms were built in the early 60s throughout the UK. This included one for Northern Ireland, built in 952/53 at Mount Eden Park, close to the junction, a residential road in the suburbs of Belfast. The network of regional war rooms was short-lived, and the Mount Eden Park War Room was replaced by the regional seat of government at Gough Barracks. That's crazy. And I'm saying, there's all them. So there's 3 in Belfast, 1 up the road in near Torhead, at the Cold War Navy listening station, which has been decommissioned. Look. So yeah, that's been decommissioned. So then let's look at Cardiff or Dublin, shall we look? Let's go down for Wales. Here we go. There's Swansea. Cardiff has 3. And then that's what I'm saying. And then you come over to London, and it's like, I know London has a good population, but dang, even some of these ain't even open anymore. Let's see if I can find one in London. Woolwich Subcontrol. There you go. No. Look. And just looking at that, you wouldn't even think that was a bunker or something for it. Unless you were really looking, look. It's like it's been converted into a blooming boxing or rec centre. Suffolk Borough Control. Look at that. That fell down on itself. Dang. Same with Wandsworth. There's no images for Wandsworth, obviously, guys. Kingsway Telephone Exchange, yep. Finsbury Bar Control. There you go.
Where everybody knows your name. Sorry.
The crashed German plane, look. That come down in the war. There we go. See what I was saying? Is that the door's rusted? They'd have to replace the door. And that's what it looks like today, guys. They'd have to spend money just to replace some of these. And where I used to live, there's two, obviously. There's one in Queenborough, the sub-control. And one in Sheerness. It's crazy. Obviously Downing Street has some. Because obviously they need to get downstairs. They need to get down because Winston Churchill done it. But look, this is a telephone exchange in Kingsway at the time. And this is how it would be nowadays when we're talking about technology being that far, like not changing down there. They'd have to be doing stuff like this.
And those switchboards, and that's another thing. They'll get called, and they'll told, "Hey, connect me to this." So they're going to have to take little cables and connect it to whatever switchboard to transfer it.
And that's a typical layout of it, guys. Look, all underground, of course. So, and of course, with it being nuclear war, you would be radiation, so you'd have to be down here a long time, which is mental to even think about.
Yeah. That's why people are put in solitary confinement, because after a while, their own minds they'll start picking up on their own minds and their thoughts. And that's what they want the solitary confinement to do, is basically to break them, because their own thoughts will start coming to haunt them.
And there's the old kitchen which you would be using.
Wonder if there's any food still in there.
And that's what we're saying. And that's what we're saying. Look, you wouldn't even recognise it as a part of a nuclear thing, would you? Driving down there, walking down there. It's only if you were really digging into it that you would be like, oh. There's Westminster. Look, Camberwell's got one. More borough controls, if anything. And borough control, I believe, is when they take control of boroughs. Make sure it's all going out and everyone's fine. Look. More borough control sites. County control. Sub-control. Emergency centre. I think that's where all the emergency services would be. Barracks in Guildford. And you're wondering, there's probably a new one, but you're probably wondering where royal family would be. Well, unless they've got a new facility.
Of course, we all know that Prince Harry's balls are all in Meghan's purse, so he doesn't have to worry about losing those or get radiated. Oh, did I say that out loud? My bad.
It's all right. I'll just try and jump onto whoever president and be like, "Do you need to give me a bunker? Because do you know who I am?" Dover, famous for the war rooms down there, where we where Winston Churchill done the famous thing.
Yeah.
That was the night when we basically defeated Germany. If it wasn't for old Winnie standing his ground that night, then it would have been a different story.
I found a magazine. I need to find it on my Kindle. I might be able to find it there. But it was like a book of what if Churchill did this and other things that happened during World War II didn't happen.
Because there was two split decisions. Hitler could have done at the time. He could have done that with Dover, and he should have really come over and took Poland more. But he decided and go for Russia. But he decided to chicken out of doing that and focus on us. And I mean that's what cost him. Which I'm glad about in a way, because if we we basically kicked his ass at the end of that. But if he never and he done that, what he should have done, it would have been a different story. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know whether there'll be one around here in London, guys, but I'd have to look it up. But I presume Buckingham Palace would have some kind of nuclear.
They'd probably have it like literally underneath Buckingham itself, and because they want to keep it more secretive, they're not going to show it.
Yeah, they're not going to show it, and because they don't know because you're going to have access to it on this map. But if they weren't, and they were in Scotland, yeah, we can see that to this article, this is where the Queen and that would have been staying, and King now, but not anymore because this bunker's basically out of use. The historic site in Barnton Quarry near Edinburgh was built in the 50s because of the Soviet power and remained a secret until the 1980s. The UK government put plans in place to keep high-ranking officials and the royal family safe here if their worst fears became reality. It's also protected Scotland from attack by Russian long-range nuclear bombers until around 1960. And here you go. It was sold in 2005 to James Mitchell, owner of Scotland's secret bunker, who has worked with a team of volunteers to carry out recreation work. And then if you look at this video, guys, that's a bunker, right, in a council estate. But yeah, this one going back to the royal family one. The bunker was used as a control center where information was analyzed and became a base for a radar air defense system. The structure even contained a BBC broadcasting studio and was large enough to house 400 people, including members of the military, police, and fire and ambulance services. And vandals torched it, look, and raided it for scrap metal. No wonder it's not fit for purpose, sadly. The area is overgrown and hides the entrance to the bunker, which I believe they should be doing anyway on something.
Yeah.
The bunker will open to the public in time. Look, 3 stories underground. It's just crazy. And then we have also the military citadels also under London when anything like this happens. Pindar is the most important one. If you don't know about this, then yeah, it's located underneath Whitehall, underneath the Ministry of Defence and that. 5 floors below the buildings. Construction took 10 years and cost nearly £127 million. and it became operational in 1992, 2 years before construction was even complete. Computer equipment was much more expensive to install than originally estimated, as there was very little physical access to this site. And Pindar can house a maximum of 400 personnel and provides protection against conventional bombing, sabotage, biological and chemical attacks, flooding, EMP attacks, and the effects of blast, radiation, and EMP from a nuclear weapon. But it is not designed to withstand a direct hit from a nuclear weapon. And we're going to put this on the internet, guys. So, yeah, anyone who wants our secrets,
just go online and makes perfect sense.
This is the thing with technology, guys. We love it, but with it, you get released secrets a lot quicker. And Pinder's connected to Downing Street and the Cabinet Office by a tunnel. Obviously, it's not open to the public, but it had some public exposure. In Fighting the War, a documentary about our conflict in Iraq in 2003, BBC cameras were allowed in the facility to film a part of a teleconference. Then in 2008, David Moore published a series of photographs. Now, then you have the most visible military citadel, the Admiralty building in All Stars Parade in Whitehall. Then the Cabinet War Rooms, obviously. It was regularly used by Winston Churchill. There's a small telephone room disguised as a toilet down the corridor that provides a direct line to the White House in Washington via a special scrambler in an annex basement of Selfridge's department store. I would check that phone line in case it's not working anymore.
Yeah.
With Sleepy Joe, he might have disconnected it. But honestly, though, somebody like we're saying, these direct lines, they need to be checking them regularly, because if anything does happen and they get down there and they need to contact America or something and be like, "Well, we've just been attacked. You're going to be next if anything," and it doesn't work, you're not going to know.
I know. I still remember living in one of the houses in Bettendorf. We had a phone. We had a push button phone in one of the toilets, so in one of the bathrooms. So it's like, okay. I mean, that was the one where one of my mom's boyfriends, he had called, and we'd been getting hang up calls and people and calls that they wouldn't reply. So after a while, the first time it happened, I yelled, "F you," and hung up. And then another time it happened, I forget how long after that, I pick up the phone and I give a good old fashioned raspberry. Well, her boyfriend at the time thought I should have better phone etiquette than that.
Oh.
And she and he was getting also a little bit of huff because she wasn't taken seriously. But to make a long story short, he had called me back like a few days after that and did the same thing. But
so to teach you better etiquette, he decided to do the same thing.
Yeah, because she did. She was laughing, and he was getting angry because she wasn't taking him seriously. It's like, come on, dude. We've been getting hang up calls and no answer calls for pretty much the last few days and that night. So I've pretty much had enough of it and responded in kind. Because what happened was he apparently used his last dime or quarter to see if he could get mom to come pick him up, because he had, but she wasn't there at the time.
And yeah, that's how you deal with scam callers to this day. Just blow raspberries on the phone, people.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just. And there we go. Look, there's some deep level shells here that these won't even be. These are air raid shells that won't even be used when the nuclear ones hit. But you have like Chancery Lane, Stockwell, Camden. Obviously, we all know about Stockwell and everything. Then we have Good Street shell that appeared in a studio mock-up form for Rebel Fear and Doctor Who. Yep. Gold Patrick Troughton. Oh, no, William Martin weren't it, Rebel Fear?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Odell. And then we have the Camden Town shelter was used to represent parts of Oval Tube Station and the survivors. And the director of the second episode was Pennant Roberts, who subsequently directed The Sunmakers of Tom Baker, in which the same shelter was used for scenes set in tunnels under Pluto. And then obviously you have Stockwell, which was featured in Watch Dogs Legion. But it's just... There you go. The Good Street shell was also used by General Eisenhower. There we are, history there.
Ike. Yep.
Yeah. There he is. Must have been over when they needed to put him under there. And there's catacombs as well. No, these are topics I'll be talking about later on in other episodes, guys. But just come onto this website when you get a chance and have a look and see where you are in the country and where the nearest one would be. Because I'm not being rude. Say you're in Aberystwyth, you'd have to drive all the way to Shrewsbury or come up here to Llandudno or Carmarthen. If you go to Republic Island, I don't know where yours would be, but Walter radar station, another one over there. Another Walter radar station. So yeah, I'd come and have a look because if you're living around that area of London, you're probably gonna be very busy knowing exactly where you want to go. Because yeah. Compare that to the north of England, guys. There you go. It's more scattered. You get to London and then it's just like cluster.
Yep.
So either they not think that London is going to be the epicenter where everything would be lasting, or they ain't been seeing many films, because I'd say that they'd come up here first before they'd visit London. But they again depends on what kind of size they use. If they get one in London, it could go for miles. Which is scary, I know, but the way things are going, one of these days I can see something happening. It ain't gonna be pretty. So hopefully something can happen before it all comes down to this. whether happens with this person, and he's love for trying to threaten us with a red button of nuclear, or the person who loves power over in this part of the world.
Can't imagine who those two people you're talking about. They're
Yeah.
I wish I could think of their names right now.
But yeah, look, if you go to there's one in Munich. I don't know before we go, guys. So if you're in Munich, there's station shelters in Munich, and it's home to 2 civilian shelters. So, yeah. But remember, I think it'd be better to go and buy your own, because some of these might be locked out now, or might not be able to be closed completely. And plus, you wouldn't know what state they're in anyway on some of them.
Yeah.
Because you could, some of these could be flooded. Here you go. Look, IF Greenham Common. Looks like something the Teletubbies would be in.
I know.
Dang, that's eerie. Yeah, so come on this website, guys. Find out where you'd be going, and let me know in the comments. Because yeah, I can imagine. Like I said, if you're living in somewhere like Bury, St. Edmunds, you got to get in there and quickly drive to one. Cause look, there's not one near you for there. Same for, like I said, Aberystwyth. But then if you're in Ireland, like Northern Ireland, and you're over this part, like Kilcar, you'd have to get to Belfast or near Ballycastle. And this one's closed and been decommissioned. So I think you'd be better off getting your own. Don't know how much they'd be, but it'd be worth it. And then, oh man, it has one. Just one. And it looks like a cafe there now. Looks like there's a cafe, look. That's how you know it's bad, guys, when they don't even have pictures of the inside. So yeah, come on here, have a look where you're going to be going, if anything. And yeah, if you've seen Fred's, like I was talking about earlier, I'd let me know what you thought of it, because yeah. There you go. That was a film that we done in 1984 about nuclear war. It was very easy. It was very hard to watch. Not very easy. It was very hard to watch. Apparently, they showed this in schools when it was first coming out.
Long after I got out of school.
Yeah. And if you know, you know, guys. But yeah, Scott might not. We won't know. But this guy was in Coronation Street years ago. Played the build. Well, yeah. But yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, if you've seen this movie, let me know, because yeah. There you go, see? And a lot of people thought this was real when it first came out.
Brother.
Yeah, because a lot of people thought because it's so creepy. They thought it would happen for real and that. There you go. The BBC drama which affected a generation of viewers. There you go. At 9:30, the BBC aired in September 1984 aired the 112-minute film with only 4 channels to choose from. The post-apocalyptic Cold War drama found its way into millions of homes and led to sleepless nights for many who saw the Sheffield-based dystopian drama unfold. Yeah, she was in it as well. He with Kez. He was a producer of Kez. But yeah. He said he's proud of it though, because he said it was a golden time in his career.
Nice.
So yeah, I'd recommend if you haven't seen it, watch it and let me know what you think. Well, if you have watched it, let me know what you think, guys. Because yeah, it was hard for me to watch. It's kind of eerie.
Yeah, when you post this, don't forget to post a link to this page as well.
Yeah, I'll put it in the thing now.
Yeah, use it, put it as a link so that way anybody wants to tap on it, they can.
Yeah. That's it. There you go, guys. I'll put it in the description for you guys to come on here. But yeah. Have a look and see, and then like I said, let me know where you are. No, I'll be back again in a while, so do not get me too much. I'm going to be back with another episode shortly or something. But this one, I just wanted to get out here because I think at the minute, the way things are, this is kind of poignant at the minute. Wouldn't you agree, Scott?
Yeah, it is. Here, shoot over to the U.S. real quick and see if there's anything. Well, I know you did, but let's just see what the little hot markers are there.
There's nothing on this one, but if you come on and that nuclear bunkers in the US map.
Yeah, as I thought, pretty much over on the west and east coast for the.
Like, all right, let's just. I mean,
pin set.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not 1 year old, guys. No, I'm coming up to 30 in 3 weeks, so there we go. Boom. I should say I'm another person, shouldn't I? The way things are. Yeah, whatever. I'm just picking anything. Yeah. Pick one more. Man cave, Dave. Got it. All right, calm down. Yeah, look, I know it's not very good, guys, but
yeah,
that gives you an indication of America's nuclear situation. If you're on the West Coast, you're kind of screwed for location.
Well, looking over here in the east, you got that little pattern that goes straight down. And you got another one in around Georgia.
Florida has none, it looks like.
I know.
Well, technically they do up here, but what about North Dakota, man? There's no love for North Dakota. Nor Nebraska. Don't know how true this is, guys, because I don't really thought, but apparently this survivalist has said that to survive a nuclear attack, either find your nearest fallout shelter or go for underground mines, caves, or government bunkers.
Because a lot of that radiation will be stopped by the what's made up inside those caves, and not by much, mind you,
No.
but if you're pretty much in ground zero, you're liquefied, which is pretty much what happened to a lot of people when Mount St. Helens blew up in the 80s. Anybody who was near the detonation site was just literally liquefied. And that's an interesting. And there was a movie that came out called Mount St. Helens, and they used some of the actual footage from the from what happened back then.
And this is a scary thought, guys. Russia have more than the US.
Yep.
In nuclear wars. So yeah, when we're talking about people with red buttons, yeah. There was one guy who I can't remember who he was, but it was your president who somehow managed to keep him under control until those people wanted him out.
And he's the one, and he's the one who people pretty much didn't have to worry about the most, too.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to that president.
I do too. I heard he did a thing in the Bronx about a few days ago, and he drew in like, let's put it this way, it's called a buttload. So,
and we were, and this is pointing as well because we were just we watched the Doctor Who episode last night. Well, yeah,
yeah,
and
I finally caught it as well. So,
apparently, I know it's the only Doctor Who in it, but that Prime Minister that did come into power for us didn't take into consideration that even though he bought Pakistan's arsenal and he was going to fire them, he would have still had to contend with them. Yeah. There you go. There's apparently primary targets. There you go. This is what they're saying would be the primary targets if Russia decided to come into attack on American soil. You've got 3 Minutemen bases, which would be the highest priority, which is basically like a triangle.
Yeah.
Then you have the subs and planes, command control centers, and then nuclear storage depots, which are just 2.
And keep in mind when that certain individual and Hillary were running, Hillary pretty much came out and said, "This is our response time," and which was very interesting to hear.
Don't get me wrong, folks. Sometimes it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't know.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I'm saying it as a person who doesn't normally have an interest in American politics, but I'd let him come back into power because he's the only one who managed to silence this individual long enough so he didn't do anything. Because that's our only option. Because if one of these other people get in, or Sleepy Joe gets back in, I'm sorry. Don't think it's going to go well. And this is another map for you guys. Look, the effects of a full-scale nuclear exchange. That's the effect of what it would be. Civilian targets, military targets, infrastructure targets. And if you notice, Fallout's done a pretty good thing because Fallout has basically done the exact map of where their shells were based on where the American ones are in real life. And then you have all this. Get inside, stay tuned. I'm sorry, but that's lazy advice because I think most people would be on the roads or whatever trying to get out of the country.
Yeah.
Or trying to get out where they are.
And the EMP that would have resulted in the whole thing as well would have shut a lot of stuff down.
Then you have a mask that they were offering.
That's a
hazmat suit.
The funny thing is, they've said that if you're exposed to radiation, it's best to take all the majority of your clothes off.
Yeah.
That they came out with that about a few months ago.
And if you want to have the effects of what the effects would be on the thing, have a look at Chernobyl, guys.
Yeah.
They're still feeling the effects around that area for all these years later after that reactor went. So yeah. Here we go. These are the only one. These are the ones that they're saying that are known about. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex, Deep Underground Command Center and Support Center, Mount Weather, National Audio Visual Conservation Center, which we just saw, Off-Fault AFB nuclear bunkers, Olney Support Center in Montgomery County, Maryland, Post Attack in Command and Control in Adley, Project Greek Highland, which is Greenbrier, as we were telling you about with Congress. Project Offices is a name sometimes used to refer to several structurally dependable facilities. Yep. Big Ol, Peters Mountain, Short Hill Mountain. Then there's an urban legend there that anti-aircraft artillery was moved to the mountaintop in 2001 in Peters Mountain. Now that wouldn't surprise me. You have Raven Rock, Selfridge in Michigan, Super Combat Center. The U.S. President of the United States Emergency Post, and Warrenton Training Center. There you go, there's the former U.S. presidential emergency facilities. Fort Reno Park was one as well for you guys. And I forgot there was that a few years ago as well about a Hawaii false missile when they done that test. If you were part of this, let me know in the comments as well, because this must have been frightening in the first stages. The Hawaiian thing. Um, but yeah, look at this. There you go. Then Milwaukee's fallout shelter, guys. Before I go on to try and leave you, that's how many are for apartments, government, and commercials and stuff.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts? And that's just in Milwaukee, guys. Eugene, Oregon. Alabama. Georgia. Detroit. Look at Detroit. Washington. There's New York's.
Man, there's a
Dang.
hot zone right there.
Yeah, New York would be like ground zero.
That's the true locations of crimes going on. Oh, did I say that aloud? My bad.
Dang. There's Canada's fallout, and there's obviously ours. But just heading down to an underground basement can improve your radiation protection fivefold. Generally, you want to put as much dirt and construction material between you and outside.
That's right.
Even a brick veneer on the outside of your home can help, but larger buildings typically use thicker concrete walls. There's the caves and that. Building your own. Someone's building Mark Zuckerberg's. I guess that costs you a lot of money, guy. But yeah, abandoned mines. There's all abandoned mines in the US, guys. And as I said, whether it's America or here or even in Australia or wherever, there's probably a lot of cities that have been built on mines or mining thing. That's an old one. In 1964, the governor of Oklahoma, Henry Bellman, had more than 500,000 licensed fallout shelters in Oklahoma. But it doesn't look like there's many there now.
Well, I didn't live there in 64. That would be like 3 years before I was born. And I wouldn't come to Oklahoma until first 83. Then I'd come back again in 93. I wouldn't move there until 82. Correction, then move back again in 93.
There you go. And if you're tempted before I leave, guys, go and get your own survival shelter. If you go through Atlas, small shelters would cost you $5,000, but larger shelters could cost anywhere between $15,000 to $20,000. So unless you got a good job and that or whatever, you're going to have to buy the small shelter. And there's an article there in 1983 talking about in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an old one, guys, but look. Shelters listed in the area and bordered by Memorial Road. There you go. All these were shelters. Don't know where they still are now, guys, but it was back in 1983 when this article was out. It is crazy. In Oklahoma City, though, the average value of homes with a fallout shelter is $225,000. Yeah. People, you need to win the lottery, or you need to be associated with a celebrity.
That's right.
Because the common folk weren't going to get jack shit with them.
Oh, hell no.
Looks like this thing ain't working out. I'm going to go on to OnlyFans. Nah, sadly, I won't ever do that, guys. But I won't put you through that dumb trouble. Right, dang. Just show that off. This is a 50-0 map from Oklahoma's Civil Defense Agency. Shows how government officials were studying how shelters could be used to protect the public from the threat of atomic weapons. Sadly, if you're in 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, and 4, they don't appreciate you.
Apparently not.
Apparently, you're expendable because you'd have to try and get into all these area from around here.
Yeah, it's look like Tulsa's included in that little circle area of protection.
Yeah.
But up north where the Bartlesville and Miami area, and Dewey area, you're pretty much SOL.
And I can imagine there's quite a few 100,000 people in these areas.
Yeah.
And they're basically getting told, fuck off, basically. You're not coming
Pretty
anywhere
much,
near this area. And that's disgusting, folks. And there's something changed. Like I said, this is from the 50s. The July 1956 look. And something's changed. I don't know how many of these have gone now. And everything's popped up here. But if it ain't, yeah, you're screwed. And that's for every part of the country, even over here. And there you go. I'm saying that. There's one. To close, Midwest city officials agreed last year to close its 3 public shelters. And that was in 2012. And yeah. So yeah. Told you, you're getting ready to get told, screw off you. We don't need. Yeah. We don't need it anymore. So yeah, like I said, go and research where your nearest one would be, and let me know in the comments.
Yeah, and that Midwest city you just mentioned, it's like an hour and 30 minutes from me. So it's like 107 miles, or yeah, it's 107.4 miles.
So the people there ain't got free. I don't have free shelters there anymore because they decided we don't need them. And this is what we're saying, guys. If it changed in the blink of an eye and you got the warning tonight or whatever, people in these areas have got no chance. Because, and if you spoke to any of these government officials, it's the same. I presume it's the same in America because it's over here. They'll say it's cost efficient. We can't afford to keep them open.
Yeah,
all that
survival
bollocks.
of the fittest.
Yep.
They pick whoever they feel is more important, and if you're not part of the important crew, you pretty much burn or gotta survive.
So yeah, kill or be killed. Sadly, in that situation. God damn. A couple of celebrities have died. Okay. That's just I'll read that in a minute before I go live again. But thanks to Scott for coming on. I might be joining me again in a minute. But yeah. So like I was gonna say before I sign off, I don't know whether Scott wants to say anything before I sign off.
I can't think of a thing.
Just have a look. Let me know in the comments where your local one is or wherever, and just be prepared because the next few months and years could be a rocky road at the minute, and there's something can be done. And I wouldn't like to be a fly on the wall at the minute in the White House or in Downing Street, especially with
I can definitely say I'd love to see it be a fly on the wall with everything that goes on in the government.
Well, I'm going to sign off here, but I'm going to be back again in a minute to talk about some interesting things on the alternate reality archives.
Oh.
And that. Talking about deja vu even more and some time slip areas here in the UK that have been discovered. So I'll talk to you in a minute, everyone. Be safe, be careful, love and respect to you all, and take care. See you in a bit.